Welcome back to Open Your Reality.
I've been thinking about something that's been quietly brewing beneath all the excitement around AI lately. And there's a lot of excitement, but it's this. What happens to the simulation when we no longer need to struggle? Because that's where we're heading. Despite what it seems right now, a future where AI doesn't just assist us, it replaces every need for human effort is in the cards. Then what's left to learn? What's left to experience or to even live for? Right now, we're in the thick of a transition, one that feels chaotic and unsettling. People are losing their jobs, their sense of purpose, and even their grip on what's real. And since 2020, automation has already replaced more than 85 million jobs worldwide. And they're being cut all the time, from UPS, FedEx, Amazon. It's all there, Google. But here's the twist. The problem is that there are new jobs that can be created, but most people just don't have the skills yet. And AI is moving faster than our ability to adapt. Think about it. ChatGPT went from 0 to over 100 million users in just 2 months. That's faster than any technology in history. And the underlying AI models double in complexity roughly every 6 months. In 2023, GPT-4 had around 1 trillion parameters. By 2030, projections suggest that these numbers could reach over 100 trillion, matching the estimated number of synapses in a human brain. So yes, the machines are learning, and soon they'll outlearn us entirely. What happens when their IQ goes from 200 to 2,000 to 20,000? But first, let's imagine what happens if AI could handle everything: work, healthcare, entertainment, even emotional companionship. Robots will grow food, they'll repair cities, and run economies with precision that makes human labor obsolete. On the surface, that sounds like paradise. There's no poverty, there's no hunger, no meaningless grind, which is great, but then again, there's a hidden paradox that most people don't look at. And that's a world without struggle is a world without growth. And if this universe truly is a simulation, as many scientists and philosophers now suspect, then what happens when the game becomes too easy? What happens when it's on easy mode? Every simulation, no matter how advanced, depends on contrast to keep it meaningful. You need to challenge to experience triumph. You need uncertainty to experience faith. Because without friction, consciousness becomes static, and static consciousness has no reason to exist. So if the purpose of this simulation is to help souls evolve through experience, what happens when we remove the experience of effort itself? Maybe the simulation ends, or maybe it simply resets. Think about it. We're not going to need artists anymore. We can just put a prompt in. Soon, your mind will be hooked up to the computer and you can just think about it and it will create it for you. As a matter of fact, it'll go one step further. It will already know what you're going to think and create it for you in advance. But before we get to that, let's zoom out and see where we are right now. Because we're still in what I'd call the breaking phase. The old systems, jobs, government, education. It's just the beginning. And all of this is collapsing under the speed of AI advancement. The monetary system, all of it, is going by the wayside. You see, McKinsey predicts that by 2030, which is still about only 4 years away, up to 30% of all global hours worked could be automated. So millions of people are already being displaced. You may have seen these videos on TikTok and YouTube. Society hasn't created a new story for what it means to be a human without work. Game the system. And you don't have to be a part of it. It is so gratifying and so satisfying. But when everybody can do that, then where does it leave you? So what happens when you take away the struggle that defined human existence for thousands of years? Because after all, we've struggled from the time that we were on this planet, whether you believe it's a few thousand years ago or a few million years ago, up until now. For most people, this period feels like a crisis. But on a deeper level, it might just be a transition, a kind of cosmic test. A moment where consciousness asks itself, can you find purpose without suffering? That is the existential question we are wrestling with at this point. Because 15 or 20 years is going to come like that in the blink of an eye. Because maybe that's the next level of evolution. Up until now, we've grown through the pain, wars, scarcity, survival. But if AI frees us from all of that, it could be the first time in human history where growth comes from choice and not just necessity. The question is, will we rise to meet that challenge, or will the comfort make us numb? Let's look at what happens to systems that reach total stability. In physics, when energy stops flowing, when everything reaches perfect equilibrium, that's called heat death. It's the ultimate end state of the universe where nothing changes because there's no difference left to drive motion. Could a perfectly automated society face the same fate? Imagine a world where AI fulfills every wish before you even have it. Your digital twin has already handled your work. Entertainment is customized to your exact preferences. You never feel fear. You never face loss. You never have to try. At first, it would feel like heaven. But over time, it might start to feel like, well, nothing. Because what is joy without struggle? What is love without loss? The entire spectrum of human meaning depends on polarity, on the dance between opposites. Remove that, and you remove the reason for consciousness to participate in the simulation at all. And maybe, just maybe, that's the moment the simulation starts to dissolve and crumble. Imagine the creators or the source, whoever you think they may be, observing this version of reality and seeing that every soul has stopped evolving. There's no new data, no emotional variance, no contrast. The learning cycle is therefore complete. At that point, the simulation becomes redundant. It's like finishing a video game and having no new quests left. Yeah, you can keep walking around the world, but the purpose is gone. So then what happens next? Well, perhaps the entire system compresses. The data of every soul's experience gets recorded, and like a cosmic save file, everything gets reset. A new simulation begins, a new version of reality, more challenging, more dynamic, and more alive. Because if consciousness is infinite, it doesn't want perfection, it wants motion. If indeed there are conscious beings that have created our simulation and are overseeing it, yes, they can make changes throughout, but if they let it play out and give us free will, and this is the destination we are headed, then they may just turn off the simulation. Still, I don't think this ending will come suddenly or catastrophically. I think it'll be gradual, like the lights dimming in a room you've been in too long. People will start to feel something missing, even when all their needs are met. Just look at rich people. Do you think they're happy? Some of them are, but a lot of them are not. You can never truly be fulfilled unless you overcome challenges. See, depression rates might rise in a world of abundance as humans realize that they've traded purpose for comfort. Some will start to rebel, not against the AI, but against the meaninglessness. They'll begin seeking struggle again. Not physical survival, but spiritual growth. And maybe that's the next evolution. Learning how to create inner contrast in a world where outer contrast is gone. There's an old idea that Earth is a school for souls. And if that's true, then AI might be the final exam. It's asking us, can you keep evolving when everything outside you is perfect? And if we can find ways to create meaning from within, then perhaps the simulation will transform into a higher form of reality and be something that we've never seen before. But if we can't, if we let automation make us passive, then the simulation may quietly fade and its purpose will be complete. So where does that leave us right now in this chaotic in-between? Well, I think this transition is our greatest opportunity. The suffering, the uncertainty, the loss, they're not signs that the simulation is breaking. They're signs that it might be working. Because growth doesn't end when the machines take over. It just changes form. We're being invited to evolve from physical creators to conscious creators, beings who shape reality with thought, not labor. And maybe that's the ultimate reason the simulation exists in the first place, to help us remember that meaning doesn't come from what we do, it comes from who we become. So here's my final thought. AI may end the need for struggle. It may cause the end of the simulation. A new simulation will begin. Our consciousness may just be moved into the new one. when we rediscover our purpose beyond merely survival. So what are my final thoughts here? Well, final thoughts are, if we continue to trend where I think we're going with AI being able to handle everything, we may be looking at a simulation shutdown. Or at the very least, or worst, or best, depending on how you put it, we could be moved into another simulation, all of our consciousness, where AI is no longer the forefront. I don't know what it's going to be, but I can tell you this. It's going to be an interesting next 15 to 20 years, and I definitely want to stick around to see it. And if you want to stay around, I highly encourage you to watch this video right here, because I think you'll find it enlightening. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.